Welcome to e-Niro Diaries Encore for the part two of our epic trip to the UK. We were pretty busy actually. We wanted to see a lot of people and we only had 6 days to do it in. So we rolled off a ferry with the car at 80% state of charge. Our first stop was Buckingham. We were there for a sort of night and a day. We were there at about 43% charge and used the good services of IKEA, which are no longer free as they were last year. So we paid, I don't know, about £15, 40 something for that. So anyway, I'll have all the stats at the end of this video on how much it cost us. And from there we went up to Clun in Shropshire, round up the M40, round the M42, and then sort of about an hour and a half of very slow going for anyone who knows that region. As you head towards Wales, it must be something to do with, not really wanting to give the Welsh too many roads out. Anyway, that was a great couple of days. The neighbour of my sister also has an electric car, and he was kind enough to let me use his Pod Point home charger. And from there we did the longest leg, which was all the way down to Exeter in Devon to stay with my son for a few days. And from Exeter we then went to Winchester to see my daughter just before we got back on the ferry that night. So in total we did about 640 miles in the UK, just over 1,000 kilometres. And it was all going pretty well, actually. Really, I mean, most of the journeys in the UK I've ever done, not that I live there anymore, but they've been well within the fully charged range of the car. So anyway, we were planning to get back onto the ferry with a decent state of charge for the following morning when we were hitting the roads in France, and looking for our first charge stop there after about 170k, about 100 miles, 120 miles. Anyway, thanks for watching the first bit of this. There'll be one more bit, which will be our drive home through France. So we're in Exeter for a couple of days, and we drove all the way from Shropshire and arrived at 33% charge, so with about 300 kilometres, still had plenty of range left. The plan was to charge at a slow charger near where my son lives, but in the road there's a load of these slow chargers and they're all covered up. Apparently that happened a few days ago. They've normally been working. We were just going to leave it there for 5 hours and go and do stuff, but we're in the Harvester pub, which is at the end of the street of where my son lives, and there's a it's BP Pulse, and it's a 50 kilowatt charger. We're only getting 34 out of it, and it's going to take 57 minutes to get to 80%. But anyway, we need to get to Winchester tomorrow, so we need a decent amount of range. We need 200k at least. This is going to give us about 350. But this is expensive. This is 69 British pence a kilowatt hour. But anyway, and I couldn't use my ChargeMap card. I just had to use a bank card, so I won't have a record really of how much I should do. I'll get a record, yeah. So this didn't work out very well. We went off for a walk, expected to come back and have this up to 80%, and at some point the charge got interrupted, only put 9% on, so we didn't really add very much. Don't know what's wrong with this thing. It worked okay to start with, so I'm just going to try it again. So just to finish up that story of the charging we did at Exeter, when I got home to France, I looked at my UK bank account and I'd seen they'd taken two lots of £20 off my balance. So that would have been a very expensive charge at £40. So I phoned up. There's a phone number for Chargemaster, Polar, BP. It looks very confusing. Their organisation at the moment. It's probably that BP haven't truly integrated those other businesses into theirs yet. So I phoned them up, and the woman I spoke to there said that the money shouldn't have come off my bank account. It was only a holding charge, but it had definitely come off the balance. So the first thing I did was to put those two lots of £20 back on the balance, but have a £20 holding charge. And she could see that I plugged in twice, and she could see how much power I'd used, and we agreed that it was about £20.70 of worth of charging at 69 pence a kilowatt hour. Well, here we are as of the 1st of December, and they haven't taken anything yet from me. So I don't know. It could end up being a free vend, and my sort of total costs of driving in the UK, which you'll see at the end of this posting, could be £20.70 less than it actually was. But as I say, it's been a few weeks now since we've got back, and no sign of any charge from them. It was quite a funny conversation actually, because the woman admitted that they're in a bit of a mess and they are rolling out new chargers as fast as they can to the petrol stations, and so I guess some of the old legacy chargers, like that one in the pub there in Exeter, that were Chargemaster or Polar, are going to get changed out. And I mean, it's a bit strange that the charger was really in a very difficult place to see. It was in the corner of a pub car park, and you wouldn't even see it if you'd actually gone into the pub. We had to go around the car park a couple of times to find it. So, I mean, this is a kind of a legacy from the days when EVs were a very, very small deal and nobody was really convinced that they would become mainstream. Well, clearly they are now, and hopefully that would change, and we'll see a lot, more chargers in the right place that work properly. And who knows, I may have got a free vend out of it. We'll see. So we're on the A34 just north of Winchester, down to about 43% charge. We've got time to kill for a few hours until we meet up with my daughter. She's a school teacher, so we're going to meet her in a pub near Southampton and then head off for the ferry. We've got a nighttime ferry. So here we are at a GridServe charger. GridServe say they're super reliable these days, but this one is out of order, so we're going to have to go and find another one. Thank you, GridServe. So we are at the Genie Point charger at Winchester University, and what a nightmare it was to get this bloody thing to work, excuse my French. Wouldn't accept our ChargeMap card, wouldn't accept the Kia charge card. Turns out you have to download an app and register, and we went through all of that, put the bank card in, still couldn't get it to work. So I phoned this number on here, and they had received our application, as it were. What a ridiculous situation. And it took about 3 attempts in the pouring rain at the time to get it to work. So we've really got time to kill, just waiting to meet up with my daughter until she finishes not just a school day but parents' evening as well. So we're meeting her at a pub. We're at 77% now, started at 43. Thankfully, next door to the university, excellent facilities in terms of getting something to drink and using the loo. But there's also a couple of 7 kilowatt chargers here. There's an MG5 estate car there plugged in on a slow charger. Obviously somebody works here. Not seen any of those in France, but we've seen 2 or 3 here. Clearly very popular, and so they get great reviews. yeah, we're just going to hang and just keep going really. It's slowed down now. We were getting 43 kilowatts. It's dropped off now at about 25. We'll see if we can get to 90%. So we've got plenty to get down to the ferry tonight and actually do a good chunk of our journey in France tomorrow. So yeah, Genie Point, what a pain.